Hello, Delta 20, this is 0 Alpha. This is Delta 20, sent 0 Alpha. A local national reported a potential hostile drop-off at grid 324-11229 at time 0330. One confirmed vehicle, possible sedan, one time individual observed, possibly more, full stop. Roger so far, over. Delta 20, roger, over. 0 Alpha, move to instant location. Exploit any information and pursue in order to intercept. Break time 0746, over. Delta 20, roger time 0746, out.
Alright guys, close in. Hi, my name is Boris and I'm the Senior Trainer for the Lead Ranger Program. The Lead Ranger Program delivers trainer-trainer courses and leadership development to park rangers in Africa. These park rangers need to protect the wildlife there, and in order to do that, they need to learn some hard skills and some soft skills. One of these skills is tracking, the ability to follow an individual or group of individuals by the sign that they leave behind. In this video series, we're going to explore how this ancient old technique that has been practiced by humans for thousands of years can be applied to contemporary tactical operations. Now, in our scenario, we received some information from a local national. He reported that he saw some suspicious activity at a certain location. Now, me and my team behind me are tasked to go to that location, try to find out what happened, and then pursue those responsible. Make sure the perimeter is set. This is UF Pro Tactical Tracking. So we now have arrived at the point of incident as reported by the local national. As we were approaching, I saw an area with increased sign, okay, and a lot of disturbance. So we first did a cast around the area to identify any entry or exit points, and we did identify an exit point, and I'll get to that in a second. But the first thing I want to find out is if the report was accurate and actually what was reported was taking place here. The first thing of interest is this vehicle track coming in, the right tire and the left tire. And the thing that stands out is this area here. So the thing I'm looking at is you have several sort of breaks in the sand as if it was pulled forward. And that's indicative of a braking action. And it really came to a conclusion here where you can see that the earth is pushed down. There's disturbance, earth pushed to the sides here. This is the front right tire where they stopped. Front left is on that side, rear right and rear left. So we know now that at some point a vehicle stopped here quite abruptly. And this so far corroborates the story that was told by the local national. He also said that individuals stepped out and went into the woods, so I need to confirm that as well. Now, if this is the front right tire, I want to be looking at an area about 1 meter behind, and that is where the passenger potentially got out. So I'm going to be concentrating on that area here. And actually I'm now looking at this area. Now, there's a lot of false sign here. There's a lot of other tracks. There have been animals moving through the area, different vehicles, a motorbike. So I have to be 100% sure what I'm looking for. And in between all that false sign, it would be very difficult to find a complete and full nice footprint. As trackers, we're not really looking for footprints. We're looking for sign. We're looking for evidence that someone or somewhat moved through the area. And we're basically looking for the 6 characteristics of sign, which is transfer, color change, flattening, regularity, disturbance, or discardables. Now, if I concentrate on the area that I mentioned before, I can already see that there's a few things here that catch my interest. First of all, we got some small areas of regularity here. So geometrical lines that are not found in nature normally. And I'm looking at those, and especially this one here, which is sort of a nice triangular shape, and it has very fine lines on the top. And that is definitely made by the footwear impression of a person standing here. The very fine lines also give me an indication about the time. It's not very accurate, but I know that if the rain comes or over time, those very fine lines will deteriorate. Okay, so far it fits in the timeline that was given by the local national. I can also see more of these areas around here. There's more areas of regularity, of these straight lines that you don't find in nature, which means that someone not just walked through here, but stood here for a second and moved around. Okay, and that is also again indicative of someone getting out of the car, stepping out and closing the door. Now after that, I want to find out where he went. Did he go back into the car, or did he actually walk somewhere? So when I start scanning around this area now, one of the things that stands out is a bit further to the back of the vehicle is this leaf here. This leaf has been turned recently because you can see that there's some sand on the bottom here. Okay, and with some of the rain and the moisture, that stuff will wash off. And as you can see, the leaf was like this, but it was overturned. You got all the sand on the light side on the bottom, the color change. So to me, that's another little clue. We go from that area there onto this little clue here. Now as I start looking backwards, there's some more areas that stand out. Some more areas of flattening. Here you got the shape of the heel of the individual walking this way. Then a bit further down, again we have an area of flattening and a very fine straight line here, which is not something you will find in a tire track, but is really indicative for a tread pattern of a shoe. So from my observations now, I can see that a vehicle stopped here fairly abruptly. On the passenger side, an individual came out, stood there for a very short time, and then started making his or her way towards the back of the vehicle. So I want to find out where that individual went. So I'm going to try and see if I can link those clues together. Okay, and then when we come around the back of the vehicle, here's another area that stands out to me. It has those small regular shapes, regularity, that are indicative of a footprint. Geometrical shapes, some disturbance, some color change where the wet earth is being pushed forward into some flattening here. Right, some more disturbance, color change, regularity in here. And that really leads towards that point that I marked as an exit point, where you can very clearly see those little green plants being pushed down, and then a lot of color change and disturbance going down this hill. So from the information we have now, I sort of deduced that where the person got out, he walked around the back of the vehicle, came to this side, and then made his way down here. Now all I need to confirm is if there's other individuals involved, because the local national was not very precise about numbers, and this is obviously something that is of interest to us. The next thing that stands out to me here is almost a repetition from the other side. You see regularity, geometrical shapes, you see the color change. This is definitely a different color than this or this, where the earth has been moved. You see it here as well, there's some disturbance. Those straight lines we didn't see in the other print, which to me is indicative that this is potentially another individual. And it does make sense because he got out of the passenger side of the left side, stepped here, closed the door, then started making his way, some more regularity there, some more flattening, down into that same location. Now I want to confirm that this is an exit point. I've got two individuals, male or female, I don't know, that exited this vehicle after it stopped. And it seems like they're going down there, so I need to investigate that a little bit further. So one individual came around the back of the vehicle, one individual stepped out of the rear passenger left side, came down this way. They came together and it seems like they were making their way down this embankment. A couple of things here that give me as a tracker a warm fuzzy feeling. I've got this regularity here, definitely indicative of the individuals we're looking for. As we go down here, okay, a lot of disturbance. The other thing you see here is that, you know, there's a clear space around this stick. It means it would move, because normally with rain and over time, the stick really gets embedded into the ground. And then when you touch it, you get that contained shadow around it. There's some scuff marks on the top. There's a broken stick here. And what's also nice is you can see these small little plants that have been pushed down through flattening. Now normally over time with the moisture they will try to sort of come back up again and try to live and catch the sunlight, but they've been pushed down through flattening. And what you see here is those breaks in those leaves, and that really is indicative of the side of a boot that has pushed them down and made that break. I don't see any animal tracks around this area, and a straight edge like this often very indicative of the side of a shoe. So again, a thing that gives me a warm fuzzy feeling as a tracker. I'm still on track. Now as we're going down, some more regularity here. You can see a lot of disturbance as it goes down. And a little bit further down, you can also see almost like a full perfect two prints of boot outlines as they were going down. Then a bit further down even, one of the branches on the tree has been pushed forward. It's showing the underside of the leaves, which is color change. And this makes me as a tracker very confident that the two individuals that exited this vehicle here now have left the main track, have gone down into this thicket, into that direction. So what we're going to do now is we're going to record all relevant information around this incident site. We're going to contact HQ, and when everybody's ready, we're going to pursue these guys. Or girls, we don't know that yet. So as we were searching around the incident site, we were very fortunate to find a very good print of one of the people involved. Now, this is really important to us, and even though we are pressing for time and we want to follow up, it pays dividend further down the track if we take the time now to record this information accurately. So one of the things that stands out for me in this print is that it is a very new print, because you can see the regularity on the sides is very sharp. You can see the edges of the thread pattern are very, very sharp and very deep. So this is not a very worn out shoe. It is a very new one. In the middle you can see quite clearly the outline of the Vibram brand that they put underneath that sole. So again, this gives me an indication what type of boot this is. I can also assess roughly what the height of the person is, and I do that by measuring from the tip of the impression to the rear and multiply that by 6. Now I took these measurements, it's 31 centimeters, multiplied by 6 is 186 centimeters. Now this is not going to be very accurate, and it is assuming that the person is wearing a well-fitting boot, but it can give me an indication about the height of the person that we're following. I'm also looking for especially the areas around the heel, because those ones are really important, because that is mostly the best impression you're going to get when someone is walking. So those details are important as well. Now the other thing that I found in this track, and that is of importance, is that although it is a very new boot, a very fresh tread pattern, there is some damage to it. And one of the the shapes inside that thread pattern is damaged, and you can see that it's cut off. And that really distinguishes this specific print from any other print. So even if the rest of the population here is wearing the same boot, I'll be able to tell that this one is actually the one we're following. Okay, we collected all the relevant information. I'm going to contact HQ now to tell them what's going on, and then we're ready to move out.
Hello, Zero Alpha. This is Delta 20, over. This is Zero Alpha, send. Delta 20, short seat rep at grid 34256254. 2 individuals confirmed, moving in a southwestern direction. Age of sign 4 to 8 hours. Tracks 1 times 6-star Vibram, 1 times military type boot. On track. Break time 0923, over. Zero Alpha, roger, your time 0923, out.